Tonight, our special transmission as the Nicaraguan government seeks to drag Canada, the UK, Germany, and the Netherlands to the World Court for complicity in Israel's war on Palestine. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I am Aisha Ashraf. Today is the 130th day since Israel started targeting Palestinians indiscriminately. Israel continues to target civilian infrastructure. Israeli forces have killed 3 people and wounded 10 Palestinians inside Gaza's largest health center. The Nasser hospital complex has been bombed for 3 consecutive days. Now its staff fear an Israeli raid. A surgeon has told media outlets that the situation inside the hospital is devastating. Al Jazeera reports that the Israeli military had sent a formerly detained Palestinian man to persuade the people inside the hospital to evacuate. The man was then shot dead by an Israeli sniper as he left the hospital. Israeli forces have arrested Palestinians in various West Bank locations. Among the arrested is a man who had been released after being detained for 10 years. On the other hand, 1 Israeli is killed and 7 wounded in Safed by rockets from Lebanon. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Hamas has put nothing new to the table amid truce talks in Egypt. His comments come after the media reported that Netanyahu did not send an Israeli delegation to Cairo to discuss a possible truce deal. The death toll from Israel's war continues to rise. At the time of writing, 28,473 Palestinians have been killed by Israel's incessant attacks. Another 8,000 are presumed dead under the rubble. 68,146 have been injured. Israel's revised death toll from Hamas attacks stands at 1,139. International concern is mounting as Israel plans to proceed with its ground offensive in Rafah. There are 1.5 million displaced Palestinians residing in Rafah. These Palestinians have fled from different parts of Gaza that were under attack by Israeli forces. Previously, Israeli forces had declared Rafah as a safe zone. Aid groups warn of catastrophic consequences if the offensive proceeds. Despite Israel's assurances of civilian safety, doubts persist among foreign officials. South Africa has urgently petitioned the International Court of Justice to intervene to stop Israel's offensive. In its appeal, South Africa has cited Section 1 of Article 75 of the World Court. Under the section, the World Court is allowed to intervene if the circumstances of the case require enforcement of provisional measures. France and Italy also condemn Israel's actions. In related news, Nicaragua is seeking to drag 4 Western countries to the International Court of Justice for complicity with Israel in its war on Palestine. The Nicaraguan government announced last week that it had notified the UK, Germany, the Netherlands, and Canada of its decision to hold them responsible under international law. The Nicaraguan government accuses these countries for gross and systematic violations to the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide. It also accuses these countries of violating international humanitarian law and customary law, including the law of occupation in the occupied Palestinian territories, in particularly the Gaza Strip. Nicaragua is urging these 4 countries to immediately halt the supply of arms, ammunition, and technology to Israel. It says arms sales to Israel may facilitate or commit violations of the Genocide Convention. The Central American country says by suspending funds to the United Nations Palestinian Refugee Agency, these 4 countries are disregarding their obligations and actively facilitating violations of international law. Several countries have suspended funding to the UN agency after Israel alleged that some of the agency's employees were involved in Hamas's attack on October 7th. The agency says it will halt its operations within weeks if international funding remains suspended. An Israeli far-right minister has halted a flower shipment to Gaza, designated for the United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees. American news website Axios reports that the shipment remains stranded at Ashdod port following the orders of Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich. Previously, the Israeli Security Cabinet had approved the delivery of the flower from the port of Ashdod through the Kerem Shalom crossing. Smotrich's order defies Israel's commitments made to President Biden. Critics allege the delay is deliberate. Smotrich and the White House have not commented on the situation. Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah says attacks on Israel from Lebanon will only cease when Israel stops its actions against Gaza. Nasrallah is criticizing diplomatic efforts, claiming they favor Israel. Hezbollah and Israeli forces have been engaging in cross-border assaults. Experts say continued assaults can lead to a broader Middle East conflict. Foreign ministers from Germany, France, and the UK have visited Beirut to ease tensions. Nasrallah says the peace proposals favor Israel's security. He's warning of retaliation if Israel expands the conflict. France has imposed sanctions on 28 Israeli settlers for alleged human rights abuses against Palestinians in the West Bank, following similar moves by the US and the UK. The French Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs says these individuals are banned from entering France. The ministry says it condemns the escalating violence against Palestinians by settlers. France, along with Germany and Poland, issued a joint statement denouncing such violence. The United Nations has documented over 516 settler attacks in the West Bank since the onset of Israel's war. These also include cases of shootings and arson. Israeli human rights groups criticize authorities for failing to hold settlers accountable. Reports have surfaced that Israeli police have been negligent in investigating these cases. At least 700,000 Israelis live in fortified Jewish-only settlements across the occupied West Bank and East Jerusalem. They are considered illegal under international law. A lawsuit has been initiated by a University of British Columbia student group and the National Council of Canadian Muslims for wrongly implicating them in pasting stickers on campus. They claim stickers supporting Hamas did not come from the university's Social Justice Center. They say the stickers were pasted by someone affiliated with Hillel BC, a Jewish student organization. The plaintiffs seek damages for defamation and demand university investigation. Hillel BC has terminated the party responsible for the act. Waterloo Regional Police are currently probing a case of hate-motivated graffiti discovered at the Islamic Center of Cambridge, Ontario. Police sources say they were alerted about the incident this Monday about hateful symbols, specifically swastikas, sprayed at the center. They say the incident took place between Sunday night and Monday evening. Muhammad Dar, chairperson of the Islamic Center, says while security cameras are installed around the gates, the area where the graffiti was found is a blind spot. Dar says this is the first instance of a hate-motivated crime experienced by the center since its establishment in 1989. The investigation is ongoing. Police are asking people to come forward if they have any information regarding the incident. At least 5 people have died and many have been injured in protests following the demolition of a mosque and religious school in Haldwani, Uttarakhand. The demolitions have been carried out by municipal authorities. Officials claim the demolitions were part of a government effort targeting unregistered religious structures. Locals argue the buildings had been present for nearly 2 decades and have been unfairly targeted. There has been an outrage from the public following the demolitions. During clashes with the protesters, police used live ammunition and tear gas. There are orders of shoot on sight and a curfew has been imposed. Amnesty International has condemned the demolitions as unjust. In related news, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has inaugurated a majestic Hindu temple this week during his trip to the United Arab Emirates. Modi was on a 2-day tour to the Muslim-majority nation, which hosts approximately 3.5 million Indian expatriates. The inauguration of the temple in a predominantly Muslim country has drawn widespread attention in India. The 27-acre plot in Abu Dhabi, where the Grand Temple stands, has been gifted by the UAE government. The temple is erected at a cost of approximately $95 million by the Hindu BAPS organization. Accompanied by Hindu spiritual leaders and monks, Modi participated in prayers and rituals during the inauguration. The event was attended by members of the UAE government, Bollywood personalities, and the Indian diaspora. Critics in India assert that religious polarization has escalated since Modi assumed office in 2014. There are concerns over the marginalization of Indian Muslims, constituting 14% of the population of 1.42 billion. Last month, a massive temple was unveiled on a site in India where 16th century mosque was demolished by a Hindu mob in 1992. During that period, Modi was serving as Chief Minister of Gujarat. Thank you for watching. Muslim Network TV is a proud media partner of Ramadan Expo 2024. You can watch our special transmission for the Expo on our YouTube channel. We need your support so we can continue to amplify the voices of Muslims in Canada and abroad.